So the British movement, now I want to be able to SR stuff down here. And I have 9, 10, 11, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I have 15. I want to do at least 18, so I'm going to take these three, and we're going to do some naval move. This naval movement's coming to here, and these ships are coming out to here. Before I do that, I'm staging some air. Okay, so that 3 goes up to Scapa Flow. I am going to change this. This is 5 aircraft. I want to put a 5-4 out there. It's changing base to here. I'm going to move this air base. I'm moving this air base and this plane to there. I'm taking this 2-4 and this 1-4, putting it up here. So I'm putting all the aircraft around here. We're changing base there, and I'm taking these ships and changing base up to here. And that's what you tell the Germans. Now the Germans, if they come out to stop, I have all this aircraft to prevent or to help sink German ships. And the Germans only have 6 ships available right now, so they're going to say, nope, we don't have the power this turn. I wish we could. I would really like to stop troops getting down to Egypt there, but we can't. So everything makes it here. Took an attrition, and I pulled back the infantry here, put it here. I took the 1-3 that was in Alexandria, marched it around this side because I want to hold this line. I moved the Polish armor unit from there to there. It just gave a line. This unit's isolated. I can't do much about it. It's going to help me on the attrition table. I'm on the 11. Then I'm going to try to SR planes and more units and get a second line here. And we got to hold one more turn. I think after one more turn, and if I get air power down here, I can start punching back. And then I need to succeed in stopping the Italians from getting oil back down here again. So we'll see how it goes. Let me look at the tension table, because I think the Americans will be able to start helping out in the Atlantic here with shipping. If they do that, I need some much needed ships down here. So let me see the tension table. Look at the tension table. We're not there yet. We need to get to 37. So next turn. So even next turn, they're able to may immediately deploy. So as soon as we hit that, they're deploying. So this turn we won't have it, but you know what? I can't take any more hits. I'm going to pull nine fleets out of the ASW box. So let's go ahead and roll for the attrition die roll. And it's a 6, not a good roll. 6 on 11, that is a total miss. So it's unit construction. Now after the combat phase, we did not relieve this isolated unit. It dies. Now anybody dying from supply cannot be bought back, so we'll put it there. Won't be bought back till next turn. Okay, now let's do builds. I want to build this, 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 and this. So that's 8, 12. We'll take this 8 out of here, turn it into a 6, and I'm building 2 ships, so they go on our Rost anchorage, where 2 ships get constructed. And I bought the 2 times 3 is 6, that's 29. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're down to 45 BRPs for the British. I want to SR. I'm changing this 4414 back into a 5-4 aircraft. So the subs are back at full strength. And I want to get some aircraft here. That's 7, 8, 9. Now I need 18 ships, and that's what I got up here. So 18 ships. I want to bring all 3 of these down to the Gibraltar. This guy that got built, remember I can automatically build 3 infantry here in Alexandria. So it will go in Egypt here on the Suez. It will go there. The Germans aren't going to stop it with all the air power I have here. So these go to here. Now here I only have 14 ships to continue on. I think right now I need aircraft and tanks. So that's 7 and 14. So this tank is going to have to stop in the Gibraltar. It cannot continue on. There's no ships to see strategic redeployment. These 14 ships are going to carry, they turn over because they're inverted, are going to carry the plane and the tank. Now I'm just flying right by because, and these ships are moving them because the Italians are all spent. There's no Italian aircraft here around. So these units get to come into Egypt. And we're going to put a tank here. Remember, I want to cover the line. I'm going to put a plane right here on Port Said. It'll cover my entire front line. And I hate to do this, but I'm going to have to SR this Palestinian corps that I got in Iraq. It's going to have to come here. I don't want him busting through my line, so we're going to have to do that. So the SRs, I did 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to do 4 here. And it comes to here. And you can, as ship strategic redeploy units, if you want the ship to redeploy, then you count the ship as an SR also, and I do. I want to send another 5 over here because I need to keep fighting the Italians next turn. I'm down to 12, 17. You know what? I'm going to send the 9 with them. So the 9 SRs. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 SRs for the British. So the 9 goes with those units from the Gibraltar. So now I only have 5 ships left in Gibraltar. That's not enough to bring me, more planes and troops next turn. But the reason I'm doing that is because my turn's done, and at the SW resolution, I can pull out 9 fleets now. So I'm going to take a whole 9 fleet out of here and pull it out to England. Next turn, I'll move it to Gibraltar. And then it'll be able to SR. So during the SW deployment phase, which the Germans are showing 7 subs, the Axis are showing 2, and they're going to use 1 9 fleet. Right now I need to either remove that 9 fleet or use it, but dang, 7 subs. But the British, they have money, and the Americans are going to send them 10. I need the fleets down here in Mediterranean. The Axis are all over me, so I'm going to have to take the hit in the Atlantic. Let's bring the fleets out. Everything goes to Scapa Flow. Okay, everything goes to Scapa Flow. So that's all I got. So let's do the resolution for the strategic warfare. He has 3. He has 2 ASW and a 9 fleet. That's 3 to 7. So that is definitely 2 to 1 odds. It would actually be 7 to 3 odds. So it's a +4. But remember, the British have a -1 on their ASW warfare table, so it's only a +3. So let's roll the Germans. They can eliminate 21 BRPs. So it's a 6 plus 3 is a 9. Roll of a 9 is 70% of 21. So the calculator says it's 14.7. You round up. It is 15 BRPs off the British. So we go 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 15 BRPs. That is 5 SRs out of 9. They only got 4 SRs next turn. Okay, but first, let's take off the losses. The 9 fleet automatically eliminates 1 sub, so we're down to 6, and then 2 ASW are eliminated, and they eliminate 2 more subs, so it's down to 4. So 4 subs survive. So that's how the Germans start racking up more subs. So that's the end of the SW warfare. We need to get 4 SRs. We move to the Russians. Now the Russians, what we're going to think about is this whole section right here is cut off. And we're going to think about destroying this tank. If we can destroy that tank, then the supply opens to this. This whole army, it can't get around it. It's back there. If we eliminate these out of supply, then this army can move up. So I'll see if it's worth it to spend the 15 BRPs to destroy that and anything else we can destroy, and because we got to buy all that back. So I'll be back after the Russian movement phase. So for the Russians, I couldn't even get a 1-to-1 on that. I'd been lucky to get a 1-to-2 because he left his planes there. See, over here, you're not outnumbered by the Russian planes, so the Germans can leave their planes forward. Now, I was going to counter-air this one, but I had nothing to counter-air that, because remember, I saved Kiev with my planes, so I used them. So, I'm backing up the line. See, I leave this open because I can build there. I know I like the tanks in the back line, but I have to plug the gap, so I'm just plugging the gap here. And I'm thinking about just pulling this tank off. I think I got to give up Kiev, so I got to go 3 because of the Zok. So leaving zone of control, these are all tanks. So it'd be 3, 4, 5, and then I'll SR it to where I want later. Or I go 3, 4, 5. No, I can't vacate that. Okay, so that's basically the move. I backed up here. I was going to leave that vacant, but I didn't want to give up Riga. Make him fight for it. Remember, he has to take the cities here for me to lose the BRPs. And so we got to build our troops and build a line right here, a double line. So that's it for movement. I'll take the artillery, then I'm going to do builds. The artillery, I have 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. I only have 28. I get 3 more against them. I get 31, but I can't afford it. So I'm on the 21 table for the Russians. Ooh, nice roll. So let's see what that opens up. 21 gives me 3 counters and 2 hexes. So, okay, he has to eliminate 3 units. So he can choose the 3 to eliminate. And that's why you put replacements here. There's 1. There's 2. Anything on the eastern front. Now, if I don't want him to take a hex up here, I would eliminate one of these guys. But I ain't going to eliminate no tanks. It doesn't look like he can really do anything to me. So I'm just taking off 3 replacements. There they are. Okay. Now he picks his 2 hexes. He's going to pick these 2 in the north. Remember, I always like doing better in the north. So the Russians pick both these hexes. So you have to back up first to a friendly hex you own. So you would go to there. And we have to occupy these hexes. So this is going to go there. And the only one that can go there is a tank. I hate to do that, but I hate putting those tanks in line. But anyways, that's the Russian now. Now I'm going to build in the unit construction phase. All these are dead. Always the German first turn attack, you try to isolate like a group of units like that. They're all dead and they can't be bought back. That really hurts the Russians. They can't get these on the table. Okay, that stack can't be bought back. So let's do unit construction. So the Russians spent exactly 32 BRPs. We're going to take this army and set it on the board. And these are still all dead. So I'll get back to you after I placement and I SR things around. The Russians have 6 SRs. Well, that's about as poor as it gets for the Russians. Look at that. I can't even get a double line. And like we said, we give him the south. He's going to be able to break in and come way out here. Way out here. There's 2 more factories here he can take. Besides that, that's 3 factories that could fall. But I doubled up here and I put some tanks back here. I don't want them getting, of course, to Moscow and Leningrad. I had to take the troops off the finish line. Not much we can do. That's what happens to the Russians. You just back up. You keep backing up. They didn't retake Bessarabia, so they do lose 5 more. So it goes down to 100, goes down to 95. So he loses 5 BRPs for Bessarabia. It looks like the Germans are going to take Eastern Poland next, then Baltic states. To take it, he has to take Riga, Parnu, and Tallinn. So I don't know if Germans will get it next turn, but we'll see. All right. The Americans will SR 10 BRPs to the British. And the British get it now. So the British go up to 41. The Americans on the Pacific side, what does 24 do? The U.S. may impose an oil embargo, which they did. 25 is Japanese force pull increase, which I did. And 26 is the U.S. may deploy 2 Army air factors from Pearl to Lingayen and deploy 2 additional Army air factors from the U.S. to Pearl Harbor. So, the U.S. started with 1 Army air factor on Pearl. They're allowed to deploy 2 more to Pearl Harbor, which we did. But you can deploy to the Philippines now, the 2 Army air factors right there. But in order for me to protect Pearl, I like to shift in more Army air factors to Pearl Harbor. But, I like to make the Japanese, destroy as many BRPs as I can from the Japanese. So to not put the 2 Army air factors in the Philippines helps the Japanese. So I'm just going to split it. I'm going to keep 1 over here, 1 Army air factor. 1 Army air factor will go to the Philippines. 2 additional Army air factors may deploy from the U.S. to Pearl. So now that's 5 Army air factors here. Then I can take 2 from there and deploy to the Philippines. But I'm going to split it and only deploy 1. So we're going to have 4 Army air factors stay at Pearl instead of 3. So now the Philippines are bolstered with a 1-3 Army air factor. So the Americans are done in the Pacific. We move to the Japanese. So we have to continue with our setup for our invasions. Now, remember, I can only put 2 men on all my ports, and I got a lot of place to hit. I need to hit Philippines. I need to go into Burma. I need to go into Malaysia, Sumatra, Java, Borneo, Sarawak. So I want a 2-2 and a 1-2 there. Really, you can put them anywhere you want. So I've got to see where I have some 2-2s and 1-2s. Well, we're going to buy. So one of those are going to go to here on the SR phase. I need a 2-2 somewhere. This is when you start thinning out China and pulling things out of China. Those 2 units are going to invade Palembang right here. Then hitting Batavia will be these 2 1-2s. I already got them ready on port. So we're set there. Cam Bay, I'm already set. I got the 3-2 and a 1-2 there. These are going to invade Balikpapan. Now listen, when you do your invasion, you have your 2 infantry units spread out. Well, you're allowed to take a fleet, start it, join another fleet at a port, join another fleet at a port, join another fleet at a port, join another fleet. You can even hold off there a second, bring another fleet you have, join together and sell on. And that's what we're going to do, because as you come down here, you have to deal with the British ships, the Indonesian ships, and even Australian ships can come out. So you want to build up a big force, but then as you start doing your invasions, the force starts reducing. But that's the idea. So we're set for that invasion. So these 3 are all invaded. Now I'm set. So what are we gonna do here? Remember, we get the Thai forces will come on. I'm gonna have 1 here, and we're gonna take the paratrooper here and invade this beach here. So the paratrooper needs to be SR here. So the other thing is I want to what I want here is I got to get around China. I'm going to cut the Burma Road by taking Mandalay. So I got to be able to attack this. I need more troops here and a couple more here. So I do need some more troops in there. And then we need our Philippine forces. And that's the armor. So it looks like I'm ready to shift in the SR phase. I just need to get a couple more troops here. And I need to pull the armor unit off the front line, get some troops out of here. So that's what we're going to do for the Japanese. And let's go ahead and take their turn. I'm done shifting. I'm thinning out the line here. I took a guy off the front there, off the front there, off the front there. Back to guy. All these forces are going to be leaving China. We need to go fight wars elsewhere. Now here, when you start getting the Flying Tigers involved, they can start cutting the supply to this bridgehead. If you lose the bridgehead, then you can only stack 2 guys here. So the reason I have more guys here is because I want to take Hong Kong. Once I defeat Hong Kong, then I don't need the bridgehead there anymore. So we need to keep supply to Canton and not let the Flying Tigers cut it. Remember, they can just cut supply. It doesn't cost an offensive option. I just got to have the fleets, like I've been doing. My fleets aren't doing anything. They're just protecting the supply line. So we're on the 1 to 10 table. Over the 10 table here, we got 11. And over here, we're on 21. So let's go ahead and roll. Here is the Nationalists first. 5 against the Communists. A 3. So the Communists are 1 counter. The Nationalists at a 5 is 2 counters. And they'll go ahead and take off this one and this one. So again, not really hurting the Chinese here at all. We got to stop the money that the Americans are sending them first. And just hold on. Basically, we're just doing a defensive campaign there. So let's do the builds. We build 1, 2, 3, and $12 for the carrier. So that is 15 bucks. So we go down 10. Okay, so 15 bucks. We have Russia at war is what took that up to 26. Now, status modifiers. Of course, we have the turn. We have the Pacific Fleet. Anything else? If both Germany and Japan, no. Oil embargo. Japan is at war, no. Okay, but you did build the carrier fleet. So the fleet, and you did all that. Okay, so we stopped below 30, which is constructing SW units in the next year start sequence, which we're going to get to. We really don't care. We want to try to keep the table below 37 though when we declare war, so that's what we're trying to do. And that looks like it's it. So tension table's fine. The carrier, we'll move the carrier out next turn because I'm going to need all 9 SRs. The carrier's, that's a heavy carrier. It's going to get sent to Task Force 1. That's going to go strike Pearl Harbor. So, but these SRs we already know, and I got plenty of fleets around, so I'm not going to. It takes 2 fleets to SR this. Nobody can stop it. If they did, I might have to move some airplanes in range to protect, but I'm watching that. To there. Remember coming to Ball of Popkin? I need to SR 1-2 over to Saigon. So there it is. Okay, and I need to SR the Marine over to Saigon. I need to SR a 5-3 aircraft over to Saigon. So that's 1, 2, 3. I still have another 1, 2, which is going to come to. We're all set in Cam Bay, but we're going to SR into here because I need to get on to into Burma. So that goes to there. Those 3 1-2s are set. We have another 1-2. I'm going to send it to the port in Seoul. It's going to get ready for invasions. That one. Next turn, we're going to get them out of here. And I really don't need. I'll leave this one in here to support any losses I take in the back. This one we won't need, so this one will go to Port Arthur right there. So everything's on ports, ready to go. I'm not totally set up with the invasion yet. I will SR another 5-3 plane. I got to get another 5-3 plane out of here. It's going to go out here to Okinawa. That's about it. Japanese turn is done. They are at 100 BRPs. So They're looking good. Remember, they got to declare war. There's certain rules you can read it about declaring war only on the British and not on the Americans, or declaring war on the Americans, which automatically puts you at war with the British. So that's usually what we do. We make one declaration of war against the Americans, and then we're at war with the British, and we have to take this is the Pacific Front. We're doing a patrol, the strike, which costs 15 BRPs, and then we do another strike on this front, on offensive, which is another 15 BRPs. So with the 35, you need 65 BRPs to do an attack. So you make sure you have that much money saved, and that's what we're looking at. And we're going to start getting a little aggressive with the Chinese. Their turn's coming up, and see what we can do, especially with the Flying Tigers. We got the money. Like, we'll try to cut supply and make the Japanese spend supply here to that port. So we'll do stuff like that. We'll see. So the Chinese turn, and we're going to go ahead, since we got the money. We didn't lose anything last turn. Remember, the Japanese, they missed, so they're in summertime with 25 burps. So we're going to take a limit offensive. We're going to spend 8 BRPs and attack this. Because if I get this back, I can start putting pressure on these two hexes. So we're going to start that right now. Have to take an attrition. These are on the 21 table. And they rolled a 4, and looks like 2 counters to the Japanese. That's why I left some of these laying around. Remember, we don't want you building here, so you'll have to go and you'll have to go. So you can see the line really thinning out here, and then the communists will roll on the 1 to 10 table. They need a 1 or a 2, and they missed. So you build back their 1, goes there. Chinese spend 2, they go there. And then the Flying Tiger will cut the supply line, the Japanese. Now the Japanese were using all their ships to SR, so it's cut for now. They're going to have to restore it next turn. So we get the 2 replacements here. Put 1 there, 1 here. I want to cover this yet, but I'm still debating if I should put a 1-2 there. I don't want to get a replacement stuck where I can't move it. Oh, I need to get my glass. I think this is blocked right here, but from here you still got to come in, so they can actually walk in here. I want to probably get a 1-2 there if I can. Maybe right here, this piece needs to get out over there. But I got a turn to worry about that, so the supply is cut. We'll put an isolated marker here that the beachhead is not receiving supply right now. The Flying Tigers cut it. And that's it for the Chinese turn. And we finished the summer 1941 turn.